What's up, everyone? Welcome back to A Line of the Stars. I'm Jordan, and we're back today with another episode of the Eagle Moss Enterprise from Fanhome. And I have been hemming and hawing about the Cobra head for quite a while and what we're going to do about these windows. So I've gone ahead and made the decision to bust out the Micro Kristal Clear. Now, this will only work on this model in this application only. I've been talking with a few guys at Hobby Time Modelers. The consensus is this stuff works great if you're not expecting to get a perfectly crystal clear, despite its name, window, and you don't want to do it in anything big. So, that being said, all of these windows on the Cobra head are super tiny. I've gone ahead and done some experiments, and at the end of the episode, I will come back and show you what that looks like, what those experiments look like, why I decided to do this, because I'll show you the panels that I've attempted to do the UV resin on. And for as decent of a job as I do these days, I still can't get it right. And the beauty of the Micro Kristal Clear is that if for whatever reason we don't like how it turned out, well, guess what? You can pick it out and put the stuff back in and move on, right? And I have plenty of time because I've got another, 15, 16 months of building this model. And so I got plenty of time to figure it out. But my hope is that by doing this mod, I haven't seen anybody do this one, so if you have, let me know. I'm super curious. I would love to see somebody else do this. But I'm going to attempt to do this mod because the effect that you get out of these windows, and let's go ahead and power up the Cobra head. There we are. The effect that you get, it looks okay. The problem is despite all of the additional light bleed, that I'm doing, you can just see around. It looks like crap. I'm sorry. Not as good as the windows that I'm able to create with the UV resin. And I think I do a pretty good job here of, getting these, windows taken care of. I'm just not happy with it. I thought I was going to compromise again, but I chose to not. So the plan is, let's go ahead and turn this off. The plan is to go ahead and do some disassembly. I'm going to go ahead and take care of the disassembly off camera because it's really just going to be me putting in screws into these little containers over here, all of that jazz. And then as soon as I have all of my panels clear, then I'll go ahead and do a quick little video of me taking a toothpick and quickly filling in each one of these window gaps. And we'll come back and see how it looks. And then we'll be using our AK real color marker to do our diffused windows. I've attempted to do some windows with Elmer school glue, and it just didn't work out really well. It kind of got the effect that I wanted, but it was kind of messy. The Micro Kristal Clear is meant for this application. It is supposed to do this, and I've practiced a bunch, and so I know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble the Cobra head, and when we come back, I will show you how we put in the Micro Kristal Clear, and then we'll do a quick little, what's going to take me several hours to do, because I think there's like 164 windows just in this panel. I think it's the same over on the other side, and then there's probably about 40 on each one of these other panels. So, I'm looking at doing, God, almost 400 windows here. I haven't decided what I'm going to do back here. I might. We'll come back and we'll think about that. I think I'm going to have to do that here, but this is going to be a whole process. I may have to live with this one because I really don't want to disassemble this back half. There's some really touchy components, specifically the impulse engine light here, that you can really damage, and I didn't do that. So we'll think about it. My main focus right now is going to be on the neck pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get this disassembled, and then when we come back, we will go ahead and start putting in the Micro Kristal Clear. We'll be back. Well, I gotta say, I was not expecting it to take 20 minutes or so. I thought I was going to take a little bit more time to actually take all the pieces out. Of course, I'm following along with myenterprised.com, And it's weird going in reverse. Like you got to go to the very bottom of the page and then scroll up to make sure. I wanted to make sure I was getting all my screws right and all that. And there is an opportunity in here. One, I kind of painted the switch a little bit on the Ministratum Gray from Citadel. I'll be able to paint the switch all the way now, and it'll look much better. And well, that's the only other opportunity. I looked at this rear panel to see if I can remove it, and in order to keep these LEDs down for the formation lights over here, I super glued things, and I'm not going to be able to remove it. I don't know what I was doing. That was a long time ago now. At this point, that was stupid. But it's fine. Like I said, the rear windows on there look totally fine. It was the neck windows that are really looking bad, and I'm very not pleased with it. And to be honest, I kind of want to have. I get this at this point. I've justified it to myself by saying having some stock windows on this might be kind of cool. So it's going to be a Frankenstein model, whatever. I don't care. It's mine, and I'm paying for it. So whatever. So now is going to be the part where we start to do our Micro Kristal Clear. I'm going to set this aside and going to keep it nearby. But we're going to be keeping this off to the side until we're ready to go ahead and reassemble. Which, once again, I've already covered the build of that. So after we do the Micro Kristal Clear here, I'm not going to show it to you again. It took me 20 odd minutes to remove all the panels. It's likely it's going to take me about an hour to put everything together because it's going to be a lot more finicky work other than just removing a bunch of screws. So let's go ahead and show the demonstration. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit. And we will start the demonstration on this panel here, which is going to be the port side. And what I'm going to do first is, in order to make this work, I want to make sure that every single one of our window ports are clean. So I'm just going to run through here and just take a toothpick and make sure that there is no stuff hanging out inside of that. There could be a little bit of flash, there could be a little bit of this, that, and the other, and we just want to make sure that we're getting that cleaned out. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the rest of that, and I'll be right back. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my empty airbrush and just activate it and blow through from both sides. And blow it out. All right, so our part is prepped. You want to make sure that you don't have any dust or anything like that hanging around. Then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our Micro Kristal Clear. We're going to go ahead and get it opened up. And with a couple of toothpicks or cocktail sticks, whatever you want to call them, set out, because you're going to need a few of these, you're going to go ahead and just get a small amount dabbed onto the end of your stick. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start by poking through and just going around the inside of the window until you create a film, just like that. So the film is created, looks like that from the outside. We're going to go ahead and do the next one. And how we're going to approach this is once you get the window filled, you see that there's a bit of a cavity there. I want to make sure, because what this stuff does is it shrinks down as it dries. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and fill up that entire cavity. Probably too much there, Jordan, but it will shrink down. You want to fill up that entire cavity so that it gives a nice base for the window. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe some of that off there. You're going to go through more than a few of these cocktail sticks. I recommend getting going to the Dollar Tree or Dollar General, wherever you happen to live, and just getting yourself a couple packs of these. This is great for modeling and picking your teeth too. It's amazing. Now, there will be bubbles that will form, but they form kind of immediately, and if you do your prep work beforehand, the bubbles should form a little less often. So now, there are some beauties to this stuff. It is water soluble, so you're able to wipe off any excess if it gets anywhere you don't want it to go. And if you need to start over, you can. When this dries, we can pick the windows out and start over. Very convenient. Okay, so that's what that looks like from that side, and that's what that looks like from over there. So now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and work on these, and I'm going to go ahead and keep recording, and you're just going to see me just doing that a bunch of little times very fast, and then we'll come back and take a look when I'm done and everything is dried. So a couple of tips and pointers. Do not rush this process, okay? I am going to be doing this. This panel is probably going to take me a good hour to do. Maybe it take me a little less. Then it's going to take about 2 or 3 days for it to fully cure and dry. So don't rush it. You've got time. You got plenty of time. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and wish me luck, you guys. Enjoy the time lapse, and we'll be back to discuss how it turned out after everything's said and done. And then we're going to go ahead and get on to painting the back of our windows, light block in the back of our windows, and I'm thinking of setting up Worf's calisthenics chamber. What do you guys think? All right, we'll be back. All right, so it's been, God, how long ago did I start recording this episode? Probably 5 days ago. Hey, look, hey, as you go through and you're a content creator and you're building models, often you have to like start something and then wait so you can get around back to it. So, anyway, it's 5 days later. It has had a chance though to totally cure, and I have to say the Micro Kristal Clear worked out perfectly. There were a couple bubbles, and I was able to pick them out, and I was able to get them redone real fast, but everything turned out perfect. They did pretty much will get crystal clear for the most part, I definitely see why you wouldn't want to be doing them for bigger windows than this. It's not like perfectly clear, but it works for this purpose. And as you can see, get it a little close to the camera there. There's a bubble right here, actually. Where is it? There you are. Yeah, there's a bubble right there, actually. I didn't even catch that one. I just saw it on the camera for the first time. Whatever. I'm going to be fine with that. But overall, that's how that turned out. This is how the back of the panels look, and it kind of gets this like little sheen. It's sticky. You don't want to touch it because it'll leave your fingerprint behind. So, yeah, that's basically how it turned out. I'm pleased. I've already started the painting on the other one, and I wanted to go ahead and just show this to you before we go ahead and do a quick little. So basically, coming up, I'm going to have another little sequence where you're going to see me doing something really fast, but over the course of time. So this one, we're going to start out with painting the black windows, and then after that, you're going to see me finishing up the black windows on the other side, or the other sides and the other pieces, as I've already gotten started, like I said, on the top panels and figured out how I should be painting it. And then we'll come through and we'll be painting the backs with the AK real color markers, and we'll be using the off-white, or not off-white, we'll be using just the flat white, excuse me. And then we're going to choose a couple of our panels here as well to go ahead and light up a different color like turquoise or yellow. So let's go ahead and get into painting, and it's going to take a minute, so I'll be back in just a little bit. right, so it has been a week of doing a ton of work to just this one small piece of the model. I have to say, the Micro Kristal Clear windows turned out perfectly. I am very pleased with this whole process. I was able to go through, and as you guys saw, I got them all painted up, got a couple of the window sections all like detailed up. I haven't seen what these look like under light, so I am kind of curious. We're here though, and I can go back if I need to, but man, I really, really don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and get to building. What I'm going to go ahead and do is show you all the pieces real fast. And so here are the two main pieces here, and it's a combination of like actual window patterns and then a little bit of custom window patterns because there are the wells back behind. And the one thing that you guys didn't see me do, and one thing I took a very tedious amount of time to do, is I took a little bit of uh, black electrical tape and ran it behind all of the darkened windows. There was this light bleed. Once again, the paint, for whatever reason, I can't get black paint to go down perfectly clean, unlike the white paint. So I went ahead and just put some electrical tape back behind it. It took a little while to get done, but the results speak for themselves. And then for these two panels right here, went ahead and just got these done. I also covered up with my thumb there. I attempted to take some UV resin. So, real quick, something you might notice, there's something missing from the inside of this little box, from the inside of the neck itself. I took out the battery box and went ahead and did the first leg of the power mod, the central power mod for this. So to do that, we're eliminating a switch. And to do that, I went ahead and took some. I need to get this cleaned up a little bit. I need to take some IPA and a little bit UV resin. This is why I did this. I could not get the UV resin even to sit in that sort of flat panel there, just a little bit. But I was able to get it going, and on both sides, I went ahead and just painted it the Administratum Gray from Citadel, which is the ship color, and it turned out okay. We're not going to be looking at it too close, and this is going to definitely be underneath the hull. So overall, very pleased. We will talk about the power mod. I went ahead and recorded the segment of me installing this, but it wasn't a very long piece. It wasn't enough for an episode. It's going to be part of a longer episode when we do the Central Power Mod episode here in the coming weeks. But I took care of a bunch of work in between and got this thing all ready to go. If you guys do want to see the assembly of all the panels for this, please watch the last several episodes of this series as we cover all of that in better detail. So I'm going to go ahead and get to starting. I'm going to go ahead and get to building on this, and we'll come back and power it up for the first time and see how it turned out. All right, real quick before we get started, what I've done with both of these reflectors that had the windows basically cast in them, I went ahead and just took some nippers, nipped them down a little bit, and then went ahead and basically sanded up the pieces, got it as flat as I could, tried to take off as much of the dark paint that they put down, and we'll be using these, and I think everything should be fine with that. I have test fitted it, it all fits. So there we go. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Okay, so cutting in real quick, a weird part of this mod right now I'm finding is that the LEDs kind of need the reflectors to stay in place, especially down below here. So what I'm going to do is just take a piece of electrical tape here and simply just use that to hold the LED down in place. Not going to do too much. I thought about gluing it, but I'm just like, no, not necessary. So we'll wind up doing the same thing for both sides. I was kind of curious if that was going to be the case. And it certainly turned out to be that way. So, okay. That's how we're going to solve that problem. Once again, once these are in place, I just want to make sure that they get into place and stay there. And then once they're in place, we don't need to worry about it. These top ones are a little bit more secured in place. Okay, let me go ahead and finish up the build. All right, there it is. I have to say I'm really happy with how it turned out. What I'm not happy with, however, is whatever's happening back here. There's a big gap back behind here. So If any of you guys know, let me know. And it's specifically prolific on this side here. So, yeah, that's how that turned out. That's what I got for you today. I have to say that I am both happy and a little concerned. We have this big gap here. I'm not quite sure. I tried to screw everything together once again just to make sure everything was all a little full. Do have a big gap in the neck. Um, Very curious. The central power mod is working just fine. We have a female and a male JST connector. This is the battery pack actually for the neck section, and I have it plugged in just here. So this is going to eventually plug into the battle section. And then underneath here, we have a little stuck. Very interesting. Maybe some of the wires got squished down. May need to pull some things apart real quick and see how it turned out. But underneath here, underneath the battle bridge, there is the other connector. So this is going to be the central power mod, and it's going to run up through the saucer into the saucer there. But overall, the Micro Kristal Clear turned out really, really good. There are some hot spots, specifically underneath where the LEDs are. I tried to take that into consideration over on this side a little bit when I was installing, but there are still some hot spots, and there's not much we can do. It just kind of turned out to be that way. So if you guys know what this is all about, let me know down below. I'm super curious. And if you guys have any comments about this mod and how it turned out, let me know as well. So that's what I got for you today. This was kind of a long haul, but glad we're going to get this done. I'm going to wait till the next episode before we install all of the little bits along the bottom to get this all sealed up, because I want to see if there's anything that I need to do to get anything fixed. So that's what I got for you today. We'll be continuing on next week with stages 43 and 44, I believe. And but yeah, we have officially kind of reached a big milestone here. Our Cobra head is complete. Our photon torpedo launcher is lit up, even though it shouldn't be, although it is kind of cool. And I do have to say, yeah, there's a little bit of gappage here. I may need to go through and do some fitment and move some pieces around, but I do have to say this did turn out really, really well. So that's what I got for you today, and I just want to say thank you. I know that there was a million things y'all could have done today. Instead, you spent a couple minutes with me watching me build a model, which I think is pretty damn cool. If you guys have any questions or comments, tips, tricks, please leave them down below. Like to support the channel, please like and subscribe. And my friends, until we see each other again, I hope you all have a wonderful day in this beautiful world wherever you happen to be. And just remember, my friends, to always live long and prosper.